questions or anything?
Sure. How many people have been arrested?
We don't have the exact numbers of our arrestees because they're still a long line and they're still being processed right now. And we're still trying to gather their information. But right now, about 16 people have been booked. 16. We're estimating probably over 100 protesters. Yeah, I don't have that exact information, but I heard the same thing. I know that they're giving that information down at the EOC, and I know they're probably planning another media briefing here shortly, maybe around 9 o'clock, where they can go over that information.
Was the dispersal order issued at the exact same moment that the area was declared a crime scene?
Yes, it was.
So you said about 100 arrested and 16 booked?
16 have been booked, so I have 16 that are written down on paper. And still, we have a long line of protesters that are getting their information and being processed. And then, so the estimate's probably over 100. Yes.
Any reports of vandalism or assault?
There have been minor reports of vandalism, nothing comparable to last July or to 2009, but there were some windows broken out. And so we're still in the process of compiling all that information.
How many officers are on scene?
I'm not going to give the exact number of officers, but there's more officers on scene than protesters.
Which agencies are here?
I don't know. I don't know if any officers have been injured.
And what happened to the guy off the street here?
I don't have that information.
Jeff, are there other areas of town in which there's any kind of action?
No, we don't have any reports of any other civil unrest taking place in the city of Oakland right now. This was the major problem area for us, and when we're able to get the number of officers to box the protesters in, we're able to stop the
What are the protesters doing now that are being detained? Are they seated? Are they standing up?
Half of them are being seated. It's actually very peaceful after they're handcuffed. They're very peaceful. It's very calm. Most of them were seated down. Now they're up in a line. Some are still seated, but most of them are in a line, and they're giving their information to police officers so we can process them.
Back to the dispersal order. How can you give the dispersal order at the same time you declare the crime scene? Because it seems like you can't even disperse.
Yeah, I don't have the exact why that is given. I just know that when the rocks are being thrown at the police, the units are working on that. Also, it is declared unlawful assembly.
Jeff, I understand there's also a reporter in the scene as well.
Excuse me?
I understand that there was a radio reporter being withheld. Has she been detained, or is there anything about that?
I don't have any. I know there was one reporter from the Bay Citizen that was being detained, and she was released after she showed her credentials. I don't have any other information about reporters that have been detained. If there are reporters that are being detained and we can verify them working for a media outlet, they will be released.
There was a gentleman from the National Lawyers Guild with a green hat on. Is that you being held or not?
I do not know.
Were any legal observers allowed to observe the arrest taking place?
I don't know. I know I was escorting media on the other side into that area so they can observe the arrest.
Actually, Walter Riley asked me.
What jails are they being taken to? The arrest?
It'll be either taken, that's up to the sheriff. They'll be taken to either North County or to Santa Rita Jail.
What other
Most of them will be taken to North County. Then that's downtown right near the
What were they doing that prompted the arrest? Was it vandalism?
Yeah, they're throwing rocks at the police and also vandalizing cars nearby.
What other police forces were called out onto the scene tonight other than OPD?
And we're not going to go over the exact numbers right here today until we know that everything is done for tonight, and then we can go over exactly who was here, what agencies helped. And obviously, we want to thank all the outside agencies for their help because we wouldn't be able to, keep this city safe without them.
Any idea how many agencies?
I do know, but I can't give that information out right now.
How far back are streets blocked?
I don't know.
Do we have an estimate of the initial crowd? How many people were part of the initial march?
Well, I was estimating around 200, 300 people at the plaza area, and then as they took to the street, it's probably about 150 that took to the street, the block 14th and Broadway. It could have been a little bit bigger. My estimates are always off.
350?
Are there any minors among those being arrested?
We won't know until we process them and get their ages.
Are there any injuries to the protesters?
Not that I know of.
Do we know if the protesters who were arrested were Oakland residents or what?
We're compiling that information right now, and I'll have that by the end of the night. If you guys don't want the final tally of arrestees and how many were from Oakland, just email opdmedia@oaklandnet.com, and I'll be able to respond to that email tonight.
That's OPDmedia at
Oaklandnet.com.
Oaklandnet.
Approximately how much longer do you think that this is all going to take? with
This is
looking-
going to take some time. It's going to be probably over an hour while we're still processing this long line of protesters. Right now it's very peaceful, everything's under control, and we have enough officers on scene to deal with it.
Have the police had any communication
Well-
with the residents in this area?
I don't know.
The residents being let back into this area that was a little bit of this block.
After it's all cleared out, we'll be able to let people back.
Have you been able to search the block? I know a lot of people jumped behind houses.
I think there's officers that were searching early on as we're boxing in the protesters. They were in the yards searching, making sure people were good.
So there's not necessarily a search going on.
No, there's not a search. We're done. We've made our arrests, and we're just waiting to process all the rest of these
Is there any tear gas dispersed or any sort of crowd
No,
control?
no stimulations, no less than lethal. Very peaceful arrest.
Hey, Jeff,
I gotta go, guys.
Probably missed it. What kind of charge are they going to face?
I'll be able to have that. Thomason, THOMASO.
THO.